Hi, this is my presentation for GPR103 Assessment 2. I'll quickly go through the main scripts and explain the code I used, along with a few advanced parts. Exercise 2, I used a list audio clip so it can easily add or remove sounds in the inspector. A list is better than an array because it can change size at runtime or in the inspector. Autolist.count always tells me the current size, and arrays are fixed size, which would be less flexible for this task. Here is the audio source used to play the chosen clip. In exercise 2, the audio setup. In start, I made sure that there is an audio source on the game manager. This method randomly selected an audio clip from the audio list and plays it. It works correctly even if I change the size of the list in the inspector. This method reloads the current scene using Scene Manager. I hooked this up to a UI button for restart redo function in the future. Move speed controls how fast the player moves with WASD, the speed being 5. Score tracks current points. Max score is the value needed to win, and the max score is 10. And each coin grants the player 1. Social bar is a UI image whose fill amount shows progress to the max score. Win score is a UI panel that appears when the player wins and is disabled at the start. These paddings keep the player slightly inside the screen's edges. Has one stops input and logic once the player wins. I cache Rigid Body 2 animator and sprite renderer in start for efficiency. I start the score bar at 0 to show no progress at the beginning. If the game is won, I stop updating movement and logic. Keep update clean by calling separate methods for each task, like exercise 1, movement input and physics, animation driven by speed parameter. Exercise 1, debug score, printing. Keep player inside the camera view. Exercise 1, I read horizontal and vertical input using Unity's built-in axes. I normalize the movement so diagonal movement isn't faster. I apply movement by setting the rigid body 2D velocity. If moving right, facing right. If moving left, facing horizontally. Here's the facing right, and here's the facing left. I use a single speed float parameter to control idle and the run. When I press P, it prints the current score to the console. This keeps the player from moving the visible screen. Player position with a small padding so the player isn't cut off by the edge. This is added to the score when collecting a coin. Updates the score by dividing score by max score. If we read or exceed max score, trigger the win state. When the player wins, the player stops moving, showing the win screen and log to the console. Each coin gives this many points when collected, just 1 point. Ensure the coin uses a trigger collider, so on trigger and enter 2D will fire. I only respond when the object has the player tag. Try to get the player controller from the object that hit the coin. Calls the game manager play audio to play a random sound. Instead of destroying the coin, it respawns it in a new random position. This method respawns the coin within the camera bound. Get the visible world space area of the camera. Okay, and I think that's it. This is my game. Collected 1 point, 2, and it's playing random sounds from the game manager. The coins respawn within the camera bounds. And that's it. And that is all for my assessment too. Thank you for watching.